Welcome to my channel where OP takes his HOA to their grave. Our next Reddit post is from a user. A couple of weeks ago I posted about how my HOA complained that my lawn was too perfect. At the time I had just painted the stripes in white paint. Today I took things up a notch. Then the chairman of the HOA board stopped me while I was mowing my lawn and told me that he did and approve of what I did, and return the roads and sidewalks to their original condition within 72 hours or face fines of $50 per day. He saw me and started yelling at me about how this was going to get me. I just smiled and kept painting. After I finished, I put my stuff away and went inside to wait for the inevitable. The HOA policed my neighborhood, and they issued me a warning because my grass is too green. I live in an HOA, and I take great pride in my lawn. By Sunday, it was extremely green. On Monday, I got a message from the HOA saying that I violated the HOA guidelines again, and I need to take action to correct the violation. And I painted the lines on the sidewalk and wrote in blue paint. Today, I got a fine for violating the HOA agreement. So I'm adding to the story. I sent them a message asking if they wanted my lawn to be less green again. They did not respond. Here's a picture of the side of my house and the road. I'd already shared my process for fixing a lawn in videos, but I didn't think many people would care. They're going to have to deal with everyone. And that's exactly what happened. The HOA tried to fine me because my lawn was perfect, but now they have to deal with 80% of the neighborhood having perfect lawns. And they cut and bully these people because I'm not the only one who can fix a lawn. These people know how to fix their lawns too. The HOA is furious because they can't control us anymore, and now they have to deal with a whole neighborhood full of perfect lawns. The HOA doesn't like it, but that's their problem. Their job is to preserve property values. If everyone has a perfect lawn, then property values go up. What's not to like? But my videos suddenly blew up, and thousands of viewers were suddenly interested in learning how to fix their lawn. And if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day. You can imagine what happened next. Every single neighbor in this stupid HOA called me and begged me to fix their lawn, and I was happy to help. I spent weekends working on everyone's lawn, teaching them how to take care of their grass, soil, and sprinklers. Yeah, but they re-gone. Hate me even more when I turn their perfectly manicured lawns into beautiful pieces of abstract art. They claim that I'm using chemical fertilizers and pesticides and herbicides to keep my lawn perfect, which is actually true. This isn't a problem in most places in America, but here in HOA land, it is a problem. In fact, I got written warnings from the HOA and was fined over $500 because of it. Of course, my perfect lawn is not harming anyone. All my neighbors have perfect lawns too, and they use chemicals as well, but I was the only one who got in trouble with the HOA for it. They probably picked me because I am the only one who actually mows their lawn every week, and I do and have trees covering most of my lawn. But whatever the reason, I'm the only one who got in trouble with the HOA. Our next Reddit post is from another user. The HOA bullied me for my perfect lawn, so I sparked a color war in the neighborhood. The HOA said they wanted less green, so I gave them ocean blue. This is the road and the sidewalk. You can see that the paint has a slight blue tint to it. This is the driveway. This is the stop sign. I'm not sure if it's the camera or the lighting. Here's the road again. More obvious on this shot that it's blue. Also, you can see here that I put a little heart on the curb. Looks great, right? What could be better than helping the HOA, protecting the environment, and spreading a little love? The answer is nothing, except maybe getting a rise out of people. I mow it every Saturday and usually put fertilizer and seed down after each mowing. My wife and I had a good laugh about this and decided to add a little whimsy to the situation. I bought some bright blue paint and spent a couple of hours painting my lawn. I'm sure the HOA will love that. Here's the front yard and here's the backyard. It looks great, right? What could be better than helping the HOA and protecting the environment? The answer is nothing, except maybe getting a rise out of people. My yard is always the greenest on the block. This past weekend I put down Monument, really strong fertilizer and seed, and I wanted to make sure it soaked in before I ran my mower over it. So I waited 2 days before cutting my grass this past Monday. I cut my grass and fertilized it. Next day I got a notice that I violated the HOA guidelines because my grass was too green. They even cited the exact section of the guidelines that states grass shall not be permitted to grow to a height of more than 4 inches or be maintained in a manner that creates an unsightly appearance. Apparently my lawn was unsightly because it was too green. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Is grass being green an unsightly appearance? A few minutes later, Harold came knocking on my door. He was fuming. They responded by saying that my grass was too perfect, and they wanted to see a little more variation in my lawn. I responded by asking if they wanted me to manually pull out blades of grass to create variation. They didn't respond to that. Instead, they sent me another message saying that they just want my grass to be less green. I sent them a message asking if they wanted me to put herbicide on my lawn to turn it brown. They did not respond. He demanded that I immediately go outside and remove the paint from the stop sign and everything else. I told him that I couldn't remove the stop sign because it was a safety hazard, and I wasn't going to make the roads and sidewalks gray again because I had participated in a community event. He kept insisting that I remove the paint from the stop sign, and when I refused, he said that I would be hearing from his lawyer. Then he stormed off. Well, today was the last day, and this morning I got another letter saying that I was now in violation because I had unremoved the paint. She was horrified when she saw the stop sign and the other paint. I told her that Harold had demanded that I remove the paint, and I refused. She understood, but asked if I could just cover the stop sign with black electrical tape until the week was over. I agreed, and we went to get some tape. As we were walking to my car, I saw Harold across the street, and he was motioning for me to come over. I declined. As we passed each other, I heard him say, "This isn't over," I replied. "Oh, I know it's not." I laughed when I read that because I had only received the letter yesterday afternoon, and the violations were accruing from the afternoon of the first letter. So I went out back, grabbed my trusty paint cans, and repainted the stripes on the road and sidewalk. But this time I used ocean blue. I even put little fishies along the edge. Just to prove to the HOA that I was serious about this, I even painted the stop sign. I know, super duper illegal, but hey, I'm just a rebellious guy who likes to have fun. I asked why, and he said that the blue paint doesn't fit with the neighborhood aesthetic. He also said that if I didn't repaint those things immediately, he would take it up at the next HOA meeting. I smiled and asked him if he would like me to paint his driveway too. He said no and walked away. Later that day, I got a call from the HOA president. We'll call him Harold. Harold called me to tell me that I had violated the terms of my HOA agreement by painting the roads and sidewalks, and demanded that I remove it immediately. I explained to him that I was simply trying to participate in a community event and that I would remove it after the week. He didn't buy it and told me that I needed to remove it right away. I told him that he should just let the committee handle it, and he hung up on me. You see, in our neighborhood there is this thing called Green Week, where all the residents are encouraged to do their part to protect the environment. It lasts 1 week, and then life returns to normal. The irony is not lost on me. Anyway, during Green Week, I decided to help the committee chairwoman out by painting the stripes on the road with green paint. She even asked me to paint her driveway too. I obliged. This is the driveway. Not sure if it's the camera or the lighting, but it looks like the paint has a slight bluish tint to it. Here's the road again. More obvious on this shot that it's blue. Also, you can see here that I put a little heart on the curb. Looks great, right? What could be better than helping the HOA, protecting the environment, and spreading a little love? The answer is nothing, except maybe getting a rise out of people, you see. After posting about the HOA, complaining about my lawn being too perfect, a few neighbors commented that they wished they had the guts to do something similar. The following day, I received a letter in the mail from the HOA demanding that I paint over the paint as I was painting. I saw Harold walking down the street. An hour or so later, the committee chairwoman knocked on my door. Our next Reddit post is from another user. I decided to fight the HOA on this one. Yes. I sent them a message saying that they need to clarify what they mean by unsightly appearance. On Friday, I applied more fertilizer and seed to my lawn. Today is Tuesday. Our next Reddit post is from another user. Yesterday, I posted about how my HOA complained that my lawn was too perfect. The HOA said that my lawn is too green and isn't natural, so I made it unnaturally blue instead. Your neighbors must absolutely hate you right now. My HOA has been harassing me for the past 2 years because my lawn is always perfect, too perfect. But I'm also the only one who knows how to fix a lawn, so I fixed my lawn. Now everyone's lawn is perfect. Now the HOA has to deal with a whole neighborhood full of perfect lawns. That's one HOA took my lawn to their grave.